There are a lot of artists out there that can draw jaw-droppingly detailed eyes, perfectly accurate noses, and expressive and stylistic mouths. But when it comes to combining them all together onto a singular anime head, everything just goes downhill. But if you're someone who struggles with this or simply wants to level up their anatomy game, then this is the tutorial for you, because today we're going to be going through how to draw 3 different anime heads from sketch to finish. So let's begin. First, locate your paper or sketchbook and make sure it's got some nice thick paper that's designed to be used with markers. But let's not waste any more time and let's draw in 3 circles for the 3 heads we're going to draw. Starting out with our male head, which is going to be on a front-on view so you can draw serious anime portraits like these. So first, let's draw a straight line all the way down the middle of the circle and a little line at the bottom for the chin. Now let's quickly go through some proportions so we know where everything's going to go. So if you make a line exactly halfway from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, that's going to be where our eyes are going to go. Then if you cut that line in half again, that's going to be the bottom of the nose, and half of that again will be the middle of the lips. Then we can connect the side of the circle to the chin with 2 simple lines on either side, and then you can draw your ears starting from the bottom of the nose and finishing at the eye line. And you can pause here to copy what I got so far. Now for the eyes, the general rule is that they need to be 1 eye apart. So here I'm drawing in this temporary alien eye in the center of the face, and then sketching my 2 eyes beside it. Now there are so many ways to draw the nose, but especially from the front view, they are usually very simple, so I'm just going to use 3 simple lines. And again, for the mouth, there's endless different mouths you can draw for different expressions. All you got to do is draw a singular line for the middle of the mouth and a smaller line underneath to make the bottom lip stand out. Now let's draw a line right through the center of the circle, and this is going to be where our eyebrows are going to go. So draw in your eyebrows however thick you'd like them to be, and then we can add in the details in the eyes, which we learned how to do in the previous tutorial. Then make 2 little dots at the edge of the circle and use them to create this triangle shape for the neck. And now we can draw a line on either side from this point we created to finalize our neck shape, and you can now draw faces from front on. But now, let's learn how to draw heads from a slightly trickier angle, the 3/4 view. So let's begin. For the 3/4 view, instead of drawing a line straight down the middle, we're going to draw a curved line about 3/4 to the side. And we're also going to make this a bit shorter than we did for our male face, as anime female faces tend to have a smaller and softer jaw. Now draw in a medium-sized oval on the side of the circle, which is going to be the side of our head. Then draw in the brow line and connect the chin to the head. And you can pause here to copy what I got so far. Now let's add in the eye line, and from there we can use the same proportions as before to figure out where the nose and the mouth will go. Then because the head is on a slight angle, we got to create a slight curve in the eye area, and then we can add in the neck using the edge of the circle as a starting point and make it a little thinner this time, as anime females tend to have thinner necks. For the eyes, we cannot simply use the 1 eye apart rule we used before, because as you can see, that's just not going to work. Because this head is curved, the eye that's further away from us is actually going to be thinner. So with that in mind, let's draw in our eyes the correct way. If you want, you can draw a really simple mouth like this, but I'm going to draw a slightly more interesting one with this sort of shocked expression. Now finally, in order to draw younger faces for characters like Deku and young Thorfinn, our middle line has to be way shorter than we had it before, and instead of having a sharp jaw, we're going to have some round chubby cheeks. For the eyes, we can use our little alien eye in the middle like before, but we're going to draw the actual eyes way bigger and exaggerate the size of the mouth by making it fairly bigger or smaller than it should be. But with that, our sketches are all complete. So with that, we can now celebrate, show our drawings to our friends, and
No, you must fineline.
well, you heard the man. Before we do any celebrating or sharing, we gotta fineline our sketches, which is honestly a pretty relaxing process. I'm gonna be using quite a thin Ohuhu fineliner, being one with a thickness of 0.2mm, and just taking my time to make sure all my lines are crispy and smooth. But once we're happy with our finelining, we can erase the original sketch lines and show off our awesome looking drawings.
No, it's time to color.
Well, the man has spoken again, so let's get our Ohuhu markers and get ready to learn 3 different difficulties of coloring faces. Starting out with easy, so first, let's get a dark skin tone and place down our shadows in the darkest areas of the face, such as under the eyes, under the chin, the top lip, under the nose, inside the ears, and under the neck. And if you'd like, you can color in the rest of the face in a lighter color and be done. But I'm going to add some more shadows to make it look like there's a light source coming from the left. Then let's add in a darker tone in those areas I mentioned before to really emphasize them, and then blend them out using that original marker we used. Now for the lighter side, make sure to leave a fair bit of space on the light side uncolored, because we're going to blend that out with an even lighter marker. Now let's color in our eyebrows with a dark marker, and our eyes using the techniques we learnt in the previous tutorial. And with that, the easy difficulty is complete. But now let's move on to the medium difficulty. And for that, we're going to need a couple more markers from our skin tone set. So once you're ready, let's lay down a light skin tone color in those dark areas we talked about before. Then get a lighter marker and do that same flicking motion until most of the face is filled up. Now you might notice when using marker paper that your colors look much darker than they should. But don't worry, because all you got to do is wait for it to dry, and then your colors should be all good. Now let's get a skin tone that's slightly pinker and add some areas of pink mainly around the cheek, but also in those dark areas again. Then get a super light pink and add a layer of ink around the edges, just like this, and then simply repeat this process, gradually applying darker layers until you have a skin tone that you like. Then for the lips, you can use whatever colors you'd like, but just make sure the top lip is darker than the bottom. Now I'm adding in some tiny white highlights using Ohuhu's gel ink pen, then coloring in the eyes with a smooth gradient of dark purple to light pink. Now, for the hardest difficulty, I'm going to show you how to achieve a dramatic low angle lighting like this. So to start with, we're going to use a medium red to lay down our shadows, which are going to be mostly at the top of the face, as our light source is coming from the bottom. Now I'm grabbing a dark reddish grey and darkening the middle of each shadow, and leaving the edges as they were to create a glowing effect. Then we can get our trusty skin tone and fill in the bottom of the face while again leaving the edges blank, as well as the cheeks, because that's where the light's going to be hitting. Now apply a layer of super light pink to give the face a nice red underglow, and then another layer of skin tone on top. Then for the eyes, I'm simply coloring them pretty much the same as the other ones, except this time I also applied a super light layer of pink in the white part of the eyes to make it look like there's red lighting reflecting off of them. And as we add the highlights to our eyes, we are now complete with our 3 anime faces. And that is how to draw anime faces from start to finish. Now you should be a pro at drawing anime faces, but you might notice that these heads are kind of missing something. So if you want to learn how to add hair to your anime faces so they're not all bald, make sure to check out the next tutorial in this series. So I'll see you all there.